Hey guys, you're welcome back to my channel today. Thank you so much for stopping by. In this video, we'll be cutting and sewing this wide leg pleated palazzo pants that you can see on your screen. It has a pocket on the side and I used 3 yards of crepe fabric for this tutorial. If you're interested, continue watching and let's get started. So I'll be drafting on my pattern paper first before transferring to my fabric, and the first measurement I will take is my the length of my pants. So I'm going to take out 1.5 inches because my pants is going to have a band of 1.5 inches. So the length of my pants on this pattern paper is going to be 45 inches. The wideness of my pattern paper is my hip circumference divided by 4 times 2. So my hip circumference is 36. 36 divided by 2 is 9 inches. I timed the 9 inches by 2, giving me 18 inches. So the wideness of this pattern paper is 18 inches. And this 18 inches is for one leg of the pants, and I'll be needing 4 like this for the 4 legs of the pants. Next thing I did was to mark the distance from my waist to my hip, which is 8 inches. I indicated that and I wrote a straight line across. The next point is my crotch line. So as you can see the view on the screen, that is how I get my own crotch line. I place my tape like this and I pass it through my legs. Okay, I place it above my belly button. Whatever it gives me, I divide it by 2. Another way to get your crotch line is to divide your hip circumference by 4 and then you add 1 inch to it. But this is a free pant, so you can go ahead and add 1.5 or 2 inches to that measurement. Okay, you don't have to do what I am doing. So you guys should take note that I am taking out the 1.5 inches for band before placing all these points. Okay, so the 1.5 inches I'll replace it with the band. Okay, after taking my crotch line, I also went ahead to rule a straight line across, as you can see me doing. So like I mentioned earlier, the wideness of this pattern paper is my hip circumference divided by 4, which is 9 inches. I times the 9 inches by 2. So depending on how wide you want your pant to be, you can times yours by 3 by 4, depending on how wide you want your pant to be. But I want mine to be moderate, that is why I times it by 2. So after ruling the straight line across, I went ahead to also label this line my crotch line. The next thing I'm going to do now is to extend my crotch line. To do that, go ahead and divide your hip circumference by 20 inches. Okay, whatever your hip circumference is, divide it by 20. Whatever it gives you, go ahead and place it on the crotch line. I'll place it on the crotch line. I'll do the same thing on the hip line and I'll repeat the same thing on the waistline. Okay, so you can add half an inch to whatever it gives you, okay, to ensure that the flap of the pants is very free. After doing that, I went ahead to connect the 3 dots into a straight line, and I'm going to extend my crotch by connecting from the crotch to meet this hip line in a curve like this. So that is all for the crotch area. For the side, since our hip is not straight, I'm going to take out 1.5 inches on this waist area. So if you are very curvy, you can do 2 inches. I'm going to connect from that 1.5 inches in a curve to meet my hip line like this. Okay, after doing that, guys, that is all for the drafting of this front pattern. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut out the 1.5 inches from the waist area, and I'll also go ahead and cut out the crotch line, and then I'm going to fold my fabric into 2 and I'm going to place my pattern paper on it. Okay, so I've gone ahead to do that. My fabric is folded into 2. As you can see, I left allowance on the waist area. I also left allowance on the crotch area, so go ahead and do that. The next thing I'm going to do is to extend this crotch line, okay, just so the 2 crotch line is sitting together. So guys, I'm going to extend this crotch line by 3 inches. For the front, I used 2 inches. For this back, I'll just add 1 more inch to it. Okay, so after extending it, I'll indicate it. The back here, I want to fix my zipper at the back, so I'm extending this back by 1.5 inches. Okay, from the pattern paper, I'm going out by 1.5 inches. I'll connect like this. I'll use my ruler to straighten that line a little bit because I don't want my zipper to be bent after fixing it. So from that point, I'm going to curve back, as you can see me doing, into the crotch extension line like this. After doing that, guys, I'm going to go up on the waist area because I want it to cover my bum. So I'm going to go up by 1 inch. I'll connect it into the extension line, as you can see me doing. Okay, So I'll connect all the way. Guys, after connecting, I joined all the points together. The next thing I'll do is to just add the same 1.5 inches or 1 inch depending on you, okay? But I did 1.5 inches on the leg of the pants. After doing that, I'm going to cut on the waist area. I'll cut the back, I'll cut the crotch area, and on this part I'm not adding any stitching allowance. I'm cutting it out exactly as it is. After cutting, guys, this is what I have. I'll remove my pattern paper and I'll go ahead and pin the crotch together. I've done that, guys. I'm going to open it up for you guys to see. This is what the front looks like. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is to place my pattern paper on my fabric folded into two, and I'm going to go ahead and cut out the front. So for the front, I'm going to just cut it out exactly as it is on the pattern paper. After cutting, guys, this is what I have. I'll go ahead and pin the crotch area together, and then I'll reduce this crotch area by 1 inch, okay, so that it will sit well on my waist. I'll go down by 1 inch. I'll slant into the waist area as you can see me doing, and I'll cut it out. Okay, after cutting, guys, I'm going to head over to my sewing machine and I'm going to sew the crotch together for both the front and the back. I've gone ahead to do that, guys. So for the back crotch, I sewed in the 1.5 inches, which is going to be my zipper allowance. So I've sewn the crotch for both the front and the back, and this is what they look like. And you can see that the waist is matching. The next thing we're going to do is to create the pleats that you can see on the waistline of this pant. To do that, for me, I'll measure one side of this waistline. What I have is 14.5 inches. So my waist circumference is 26 inches. That means on each waist of this pants, I should have 6.5 inches. The first thing I'll do is from this center, which is my crotch line, I'll go in by half of my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 4 inches. As you can see, I'm placing my tape on that joining that I have on the crotch line. I'll go out by 4 inches, which is half of my nipple to nipple measurement. I'll indicate the 4 inches. And on the other side, which is my side, which is the side of the pant, sorry, I'll come inward by 1.5 inches. This 1.5 inches will be my stitching allowance on the side. So I'm going to pick from that nipple to nipple measurement, that is my dart leg. I'll pin from there, okay, to meet this 1.5 inches. You can do a kissing pleat, but I just want one pleat like this on the side of my own pants. That is why I'm doing this. Whatever you do, make sure you have your waist circumference divided by 4, okay? So as you can see, after measuring, and I have the 6.5, which is minus my stitching allowance on the side, I went ahead to pin. So I'll repeat the same thing on this side. I went in by 4 inches, which is half of my nipple to nipple measurement. On the side, I came in by 1.5 inches, which is going to be my stitching allowance. I'm going to pick from this nipple to nipple points, okay, and just place it somewhere around. I'll measure to see that what I have there is what I need, okay. The waist measurement I need for each of this panel is 6.5 inches. That is minus my stitching allowance. So I'm measuring from away from my stitching allowance, so I should have about 13 inches, okay, minus my stitching allowance on the waistline. So everything that I did there, I went ahead to do it on the back piece also, and this is what I have, guys. So guys, this is the back piece. I repeated the same thing that I did for the front. I repeated it on the back. Okay, so I'm going to align the waist area together, As you guys can see, it's the same, and this is what I want. Okay, the next thing I'll do is to go ahead and cut out my pocket. So I'll be adding a side pocket to this. All I did was spread my hands on my fabric and I went ahead to just trace it out. So I went ahead to cut out 4 pieces for this, 2 for the front and 2 for the back, and this is what the pocket looks like. What I'll do is to go down from the waistline by 3 inches. You can do 2 inches. Okay, so I went down by 3 inches. I indicated the 3 inches using my chalk. On that 3 inches mark, I'm going to place my pocket right side facing right side. As you can see, I'll go ahead and pin it down. I'll repeat the same thing for the other side of the pants, and I'll also repeat this same process for the back of the pants. After doing that, I'm going to sew it down. I'll sew the pocket to the pants. So guys, I've sewn the pocket with the pants, and this is what I have. I repeated the same thing for the back piece. So the next thing I'm going to do is to place both the front and the back piece together. Okay, as you can see me doing, I'll go ahead and pin the sides together. I'll pin the pockets together all the way around. After pinning, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sew from the waist. I'll sew all around the pocket area, and I'll sew all the way to the base. I'll also go ahead and join the cross together. After sewing the sides and the pocket together, I'll join the cross together and I'll go ahead and turn it inside out. Guys, I've gone ahead to sew and I've turned my pants inside out, and this is what I have, guys. The next thing I'm going to do now is to open the back of the pant. Remember I said I'll be fixing my zipper to the back, so I used a gather stitch to hold the back in place. I'm just going to go ahead and loosen the 1.5 inches, which is my zipper allowance. Okay, after doing that, guys, I'm going to cut out my band. So like I said while I was drafting, the width of my band is going to be 1.5 inches. So to cut out your band, go ahead and place your tape all the way around your waistline and measure it. Whatever you have is what you are going to use to cut out your band. So I've already gone ahead to cut out my band, and the width of this band is 2 inches. Okay, so I'm going to sew half an inch to the waistline of my pants, and I'll be left with the 1.5 inches, which is going to be the width of my band. Okay, so the wideness is the measurement of my round waist plus my zipper allowance. Okay, so I'm going to place them like this, and I'm going to go ahead and sew all the way around. Gone ahead to sew the band in place, and this is what I have, guys. The next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and fix my zipper to the back, and I'll also go ahead and hem the base of my pants, and I'll give it a good press. So guys, that brings us to the end of this tutorial. I hope it was helpful. Don't forget to like this video, leave your questions in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.